Hey guys, what's going on? I'm here with another first impressions video, and I know I've been doing a lot of them recently, but this is the first time in a long time I've been able to get some new blades. I haven't gotten more than, one new blade in a long time, all at once, that is. I've been getting into the more expensive knives lately, so it's been harder to get a hold of some of the ones that I want because I have to save for a while. But anyway, I came into some extra money recently, so I was able to pick up some new blades. This one, however, that I'm about to show you, was an early Christmas gift from my parents. That was very cool. The story behind it is that my mother is very superstitious, and apparently there's a superstition where if you give a knife as a gift, you sever the ties of the relationship. So I thought that was kind of funny. So she gave it to me when it arrived, and actually she just laid it somewhere where I'd find it, and of course I knew what it was. So she let me have it early, so I thought that was really cool, and it's just kind of funny. But then my buddy Red Gladius, I kept wanting to say Nick, but you guys know him, Red Gladius, he told me that if you give the person a coin, then it's not really considered a gift. You're technically buying it. So that kind of breaks the superstition, but so I gave her a coin anyway, but she still let me keep the knife. So I thought that was super cool. And it allows me to give you guys my first impressions and possibly review it before Christmas. So anyway, now my brother Exacto is going to be ecstatic that I got this blade. By the way, guys, I know I'm building the suspense like crazy. If you have not checked out Exacto, you guys need to go do that. He's such a great guy. He's just a genuine, good person. And a lot of people, I've actually seen a lot of people tell him, I don't know why they tell somebody, that they're going to unsubscribe to him because of his quote-unquote lewd behavior in his videos. You know what, that doesn't affect, it shouldn't affect how you feel about him as a person. He's a great person. I love his sense of humor. He's just a great overall guy. Definitely go check him out, guys. He's got some great videos. Just a great guy, so go subscribe to him if you haven't already. So anyway, like I said, he's going to be excited about this. And here it is without further ado. Bam. Spyderco Military. And let me just say this. To quote Exacto himself, I've fallen in love with a girl named Millie. And that is this knife. This blade is so incredible. This is my first ever Spyderco Military. I know, gasp, right? This knife's been out for like 4 years now, and I'm just now getting a hold of one. This knife is incredible. Let me give you guys some close-ups here. The G10 is amazing. Same as the Paramilitary 2. I forgot to bring it out to the shed with me, so I can't do comparisons, but I'll save that for the review of this knife. This is just my first impressions and a quick overview, just to tease you guys with it. But Sherman, wait a minute. This is only a tip-down knife. I thought you hate carrying tip-down. Well, normally you're right. I do prefer tip-up, but honestly, I have not minded it with this knife. I've been carrying this for about 3 days now. I haven't been able to get in the shed to make a video on it, so this isn't exactly first impressions, but these are my impressions of the knife. So I've been carrying it, and honestly, it makes sense that it would be tipped down, because if you're carrying it in the pocket, you go to reach out, and then you have your knife, and you're going to have to kind of climb, work your hand up the knife to deploy it. Most knives, you don't have to do that, because most knives aren't this big. All my other knives, like the Paramilitary 2, the Mannix, I'd hate it if they were tipped down only. But with this one, it makes sense because I can draw it from my pocket and it's already in that position. I don't have to climb my hand up the handle. But like I said, that's, you don't have to do that with most knives, but this is a very long knife. So I have not minded it being tipped down only. It's been quite nice. Another problem while we're on this subject about tip down, it's going to be in your pocket. Like if you're looking down at your pocket, it's always going to be like this. So if by chance you're jogging around, moving around the knife could come out of the handle, and then you reach in your pocket, or perhaps you bend down and you stab yourself in the thigh. I've actually done that before with one of my cheaper knives. This knife, however, has great detent, so I feel secure with that tip down. Like I said, if it was tip up, this part of the blade would be against the side of your pocket and could never open. So that's another thing about carrying tip down that I dislike. But anyway, just show you that blade. God, I love that sound. Friggin' huge knife. Let me get the ruler here. This is just for my blade length measurements. Just a tad bit under 4 inches. I mean, to the 1/8 of an inch. So, Spyderco actually does that on purpose. They purposely make their knives just right under a certain measurement. Like, generally, you're never going to find an exact 3.5 inch blade, 3 inch blade, 4 inch. It's always going to be like 3 3/8 or something weird like that. I'll annotate the exact blade length here from Spyderco. I can't remember it off the top of my head. It's like 3.88 inches long. So that is just under 4 inches, and they do that because of legality, which I think is kind of funny. It's almost like a, you know, it's giving the finger in the face, you know. They give you the most out of the blade with it just being under most knife laws. So where I am, I can legally carry this with no problem whatsoever. Even if it was a little over 4 inches, I could still technically carry it as long as I'm not in a major city. Major cities have different knife laws than rural areas such as where I live. So it's kind of weird how that works, but you know. But anyway, let's just talk about the knife here. I'm actually thinking about taking the coating off of that clip. I might not. First time experiencing a good Spyderco liner lock. The only other liner locking Spidey I have is my Tenacious. And yes, my Tenacious is a fantastic knife, but this is a high-end knife. So I was anxious to see how that liner lock would be. See, it engages. It's pretty early. It's super, super smooth. Locks up super tight. Absolutely no play whatsoever up and down. A tiny bit side to side that is adjustable, however. You guys all know that. But absolutely solid up and down. I mean, this thing feels like a tank. And with a lot of cheaper liner locking knives, you get sticking issues real bad, or the liner is very, very stiff, where it isn't bent properly. This one, as big as this liner is, or as long as the liner is, and for how heavy duty this is, super, super smooth. And the blade is very smooth. I could loosen the pivot a little bit to make it a little bit more smooth, make it pop out a little bit faster, but then you get a lot of lateral play, and I don't like that. I like my knives to be pretty stiff all the way around, but I mean, as you can see, it's kind of hard to get it in frame because this is such a big knife. I can thumb flick it without any wrist action whatsoever. Let me try to do that again for you. Whoop. Like I said, it's hard sitting behind a tripod. I'm afraid I'm going to hit it. So you can do that. You can do the middle finger flick with it. Here again, without any wrist action whatsoever. Or just very slowly and smoothly like that. So, very, very sexy, full flat ground, long blade. CPMS 30V. And Golden, Colorado, USA Earth. So very nice, and I opted for the digital camouflage because it is a lot cheaper than the black for some reason. Got this off of Sears, the Sears website, same place I got my Paramilitary 2. And as I said before, it doesn't come directly from Sears. It's sold by a company called Ant online, A-N-T, just like the insect, and these, I believe, were going for $98 at the time. It was like $100 shipped, which is an incredible price for this knife. I'm sure most of you know. But for some reason, the black G10 version was like $140. So I'm like, I don't care. I like the digital camouflage personally. And plus, this matches my Paramilitary too. And I actually really like that. That sounds silly, but it's kind of nice having the matching pair. I love how the handle is shaped, how the whole knife is constructed, because, okay, that's the handle straight on. You can see how the blade swoops downward and then back up. It's almost like a recurve. The way the blade comes out of the handle, the blade shape is not a recurve, but it's just, I don't know, you guys kind of get what I'm saying here? It's just meant for slicing, like wicked slicer. I have never had good luck with my S30Vs on stock Spideys. My Paramilitary 2 had a few spots where the S30V was kind of rolled, it felt, like they didn't sharpen it properly. My Ojimbo 2 had the same problem, except it had a huge unground portion of the blade. I'll save that for a later video. This one came perfect, and this is honestly probably the sharpest Spyderco I've ever gotten out of the box. We have flimsy legal paper here. See if I can get a good cut test going on. I did not touch this up. All I did was strop it when I got it out of the box. I do that with all my knives. But I didn't need to touch it up on my stone at all. Just absolutely wicked sharp. Got a little catch there. So it could be touched up a lot, yes. But I'm not going to do that until I feel that it's starting to get a little dull. No, I might, who knows. But I was very pleased and satisfied with the factory edge that was on this knife. So, great jimping, great ergonomics. Like I said, I don't mind that it's tipped down at all. I actually would probably prefer it with this knife. This is not a huge issue with me, but I know it is with a lot of people. Blade centering, absolutely perfect. Now, a lot of people will show blade centering and consider that to be quality, like if the blade is centered. That is completely false. I know that is some people's opinion, but I can go ahead and tell you that blade centering has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of the knife. Blade centering is changed due to the tension on the pivot. That's all it is. Now, is it nice to know that the factory did it to where the blade centering is perfect from, right out of the box? Yeah, it's pretty nice. But that shouldn't really be a factor because, I mean, you can change that yourself. It's not like it's not like how the edge is, it's not like how they sharpen it from the factory. That actually has something to do with performance. Your blade being slightly to the left or to the right has nothing to do with the performance and can be adjusted with just a simple Torx bit. So that's just kind of this kind of irks me a little bit when people say, they take a knife out of the box, they say it's not centered, and then they criticize the knife company or the construction of the knife because it has nothing to do with the knife's construction. It's just that tension right there. If I were to tighten the pivot right there, the blade would move over there to the left. If I were to loosen it, it'd move over to the right a little bit. So it's not rubbing at all because it's completely centered. But even if it wasn't, even if it was rubbing, it wouldn't be a problem whatsoever. Or, I'm sorry, if it was rubbing, that would be an issue. But it's not. It's not even off-centered, so. Alright, sorry, that was my little rant of the night. So yeah, guys, I'm absolutely in love with this knife. I've been carrying it, like I said, for about 3 days now. Did some work with it. Performs great. It's such an incredible slicer. I've not had a problem with the size. I love the size of this knife. It fits my hand perfectly. Just absolutely love it. It is not a hindrance in my pocket whatsoever. I can extract it very fast. So I have gotten used to the tip down carry method of this knife. However, I still do prefer to keep all my other knives tip up. It's just something that I'm gonna have to get used to, switching back and forth. That's a topic for a whole other video here again. So I'll try not to rant about 2 subjects in one video. Alright, anyway guys, I guess I'll get out of here before I rant on too long. But I hope you enjoy. Stay tuned for a full review of this knife, and I have a ton of reviews coming within the next week or 2. I have a few knives I need to review and a flashlight. I still need to review my 4.7's Quark. So stay tuned for those reviews, guys. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your weekend. Stay safe, stay sharp, and God bless. Sherman614, peace.